I was the life of the party. I'll party all evening into late in the night before I retire home just to sleep. Even though I was broke and jobless, but as we all know, an alcoholic man always has that friend whose bill is always on. Be it a long-time friend or a friend you just met that night, someone is always ready to pay. I went to the bar every day without a dime. I was lavishly spoiled with alcohol because my friends are always there to pay the bills. But when I turned to them for help, I always got turned down. My drinking and partying didn't start when I was a teenager. I truly had the fear of God and loved Him as a boy. I graduated from college with good grades. I was, of course, the best in my class. I had been the best at everything ever since I was a child. Everything had come with ease for me. Until adulthood started slapping me on the face. No matter the door I knocked, they never got opened. It had been back to back of rejection letter ever since I started looking for jobs. No company was willing to take me. But even with all this shit going on in my life, I was still steadfast in prayers and fervent in my worship to God. I never wavered in faith. I was still holding on to God, for I knew my breakthrough was round the corner. The mama called me one day and said, "If you can't secure a job, can't you also secure a woman? Maybe when you get married, her good luck can rub off on you and your destiny can get ignited." And that was when I realized truly, in all my struggles, I've never thought of being with a woman. I mean, I haven't even settled down yet, so how can I bring a woman into this mess? But I wasn't getting younger anymore, and what if Mama was right? Maybe marriage door could open many doors for me. So I started looking out for a woman who could be a potential wife, and I couldn't find any. Then one day, my friend called me over to his bar, even though I wasn't drinking at that time. While I sat quietly waiting for him, this young beautiful damsel walked up to me, and I truly couldn't get my gaze off on her. For she was indeed a very beautiful and sophisticated woman. We exchanged pleasantries and we connected deeply at first sight. She took me to her car for her to drop me off, and one thing led to another in the car. 2 months later, I got a call from my mom to come home immediately. I had no idea what had happened. Then it was this woman I met at the bar in front of me, sitting comfortably with my parents. And the next thing I heard was, "Congratulations, son. You have finally brought us shame and reproach. This is your cross, and now you have to carry it." I was confused and dumbfounded. I had no idea what was going on. And that was when she stood and looked me in the eye that she was carrying my child. How did it happen? It was a one-night stand. I can't possibly be the father, I said. But my parents weren't even ready to hear me out. For my dad was, of course, a pastor, and my mom, the women leader. "We can't let you bring shame to this family and soil the name we had worked so hard to build. How do I face other mothers in the church that I, who used to scold young wayward ladies, now have a son who has followed the same pathway? And how can your father face his congregation next time he's teaching about immorality when his son has woefully failed in that aspect?" said my mother. Hence, be prepared. You are getting married before that belly gets bigger. And that was it. I didn't even have a say in my own matter. Of course, I couldn't. I was still under their roof after all, eating their food and spending their money. So my life was basically in their hands. Do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. Do not let your heart turn to her ways, or stray into her path. Our house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. But Mom, Dad, I just choked on my words and accepted my fate. We got married before I could even blink. Now my life was about to receive a massive turnaround. I married a woman I never knew nor loved. My parents couldn't fathom the fact that I slept with a woman I didn't love. In my mom's word, I never loved your father initially, but here we are today, happily ever after. You will also be fine. Then on our wedding day, my friend came to me and whispered, "Welcome to the streets." I didn't understand what he meant by that at first, and then I looked at him with more answers and I said, "She belongs to all of us." For she was, of course, a street girl. I should have known, for our one-night stand got us here after all. But I said to myself, we will work it out for the sake of our child. Then our lives began together, and it was one hell of a marriage. She was always a loggerhead with me and always violated me with her words. She was on the move every day, leaving me and her son behind. I was gradually slipping away with my life on the edge. And then for the first time, I tasted alcohol. And ever since, I couldn't control myself. I was of course the best at everything I did, so I was an exceptional drinker. My life became messier and everything started crumbling. Then one day, on a beautiful morning, I received an email from a country I had applied for a long time ago, accepting my job application request with permanent residence for myself and my family. My joy knew no bounds as I rushed home to my wife, telling her to get ready, for our lives were about to change for the better. Then she said to me, she can't leave because she can't let our son grow up without his father. I didn't get the message at first. Of course, he won't grow up without his father. We are living with him. Then she stood up and said, "You are not his father." You are thereby sentenced to 50 years imprisonment. I just hit her once. She fell on the ground and never opened her eyes again. That was the first time I would lay my hands on her, and that was also, of course, the last time. It was just one night with her and just one hit on her, and my life was cut short at midstream. Now then, my son, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil enrich the house of another. At the end, your life will groan, for our house is a highway to the grave, leading down to the chambers of death. Sometimes, it is not actually the multiple mistakes that send us to hell. Most times, it's that one mistake that sends us to the multiple mistakes that eventually send us